During our posterior shoulder smash, the goal is to place the ball on the wall or on the floor, press your shoulder into the ball, trying to find a little tender spot, and then start to create some motion through the shoulder, through the scapula, through the thoracic spine, wherever that ball is. We want to really try and change what the central nervous system perceives as a threat. So create some slow, deliberate movements, pressing into the ball, and seeing if you can get that tissue to start to open up, and then trust more of the movement as you go ahead into these lifts later on. This is our anterior shoulder smash. So again, find a surface high enough where you can get a ball or the foam roller, and you can place into the anterior shoulder complex any of those muscles, and then start to create some slow and deliberate movement as you search for more of those tender spots in the front part of your pec or the anterior deltoid. The goal here is to try and allow the central nervous system to sort of down-regulate the tension and increase some more of this movability of your shoulder and the tissue as you go more into these lifts later on. Find a foam roller and place it across your back. And here we're just going to try and extend like one segment at a time. You can keep your arms down by your side. You can bring your arms up in sort of a prisoner position. You can take the arm straight out to your side, whatever's the most comfortable for you. But as you create a little flexion and extension, you want to really try and mobilize any part of that thoracic spine that you can with that foam roller. The V-sit to a side bend is a great movement for opening up the hips, getting those adductors to open up, but also just to stabilize the pelvis to the floor as we try and move everything upstream: lumbar spine, thoracic spine, shoulders, cervical. While sitting in this V-sit to a kettlebell press, you want to brace your core like you're getting ready to take a punch. Grab that kettlebell, rack it up towards your chest, press above your head. Take that opposite arm and try and reach towards that opposite foot. Trying to create a little rotation in the thoracic spine while you keep that kettlebell pressed over the head. If the bell gets a bit to be too heavy, slow down the movement or try and go for a lighter kettlebell. Our goal here is to really try and lock the elbow out and create some good motion. Our V-sit to rotation, we're just reaching one arm all the way up towards the ceiling, while we take the opposite arm and we reach towards that opposite leg. Really trying to create as much movement with rotation through our thoracic spine. You can always use a kettlebell as an anchor to try and pull yourself deeper into that flex position, and then try and rotate around your spine. If you want a little bit of neck motion when you're reaching, take that head and look towards the hand that's up towards the sky. Our banded face pulls, you're going to grab a nice band, sit up tall, squeeze that band as you're trying to pull it right towards your nose. As you're squeezing, really try and create better retraction through the shoulder blades on both sides, and then just return the band back towards its starting position. Banded face pulls with some external rotation, palms are going to be facing out against the band. And when you pull towards that upper lip or towards your nose, you're going to pause for a second and then try and create as much external range of motion through the shoulder joint as you can, as if you're trying to lift that band up and over the top of your head. And then return back to our natural, normal position. Our V-sit to a shoulder press. Sit firmly on your butt, brace your core, pull those dumbbells up, and then start going into a nice shoulder pressing motion. Really trying to brace as you're pressing up and then retracting back as you pull back down. Don't let your spine buckle as you're going into this position. Next phase is getting into an Arnold press. So as you press all the way up towards the ceiling, you bring yourself back down. Elbows are going to come in as if you're trying to touch each other, and then you're going to press back towards the sky again. Is overhead banded with pulses. Take a nice light band. You're going to press over your head, keep the spine locked out while you're there, creating a little elevation through the shoulder blade. And when you get to that top end position, you're going to create some pulses, pulsing forward and backwards with that band. Try not to allow the shoulder to create any disengagement, and then create some depression through that shoulder blade and go into the same sort of pulsing motion. Great for shoulder and scapular activation with overhead positioning. Just some resisted external range of motion through the shoulders. So as we attach a band around a rig or some solid surface, place it around the elbows, and then you are trying to squeeze those elbows back against the resistance of that band pulling yourself forward. When you're going back forward again, allow that band to slowly pull you forward. Don't let yourself jerk forward. Really trying to open up through the shoulder blades and then retracting through the shoulder blades in that same motion. In this banded internal rotation, we have the band that's placed behind us and our arm is reaching back towards the band. You are now trying to pull your arm out and away from your back. As you incorporate the movement of the scapula, you can start creating some scapular glides, going into elevation, into depression, into retraction, into protraction, while you're activating the internal rotation of that shoulder. Our single arm kettlebell swimmer's position. Take a nice light kettlebell or a weight, attach it with a light little band, and you're just going through as much shoulder motion as you can into that swimmer's position, going into full internal range and full external range at both starting positions. Slow and controlled is the goal with this motion. This is a banded kettlebell in a supinating curl to press. So attach a band to the end of a kettlebell. You're going to curl all the way up to that position and then slowly press all the way up and over your head, trying to minimize the bounce of that kettlebell. And then lowering again through the shoulder, back into your supinating curl, and on that eccentric pull of that kettlebell down towards the ground. And then from there, we're going to go into a pronating curl. As we pronate, same thing, we're going to lift the kettlebell up off the ground, keeping the forearm out in front of us, and we're going to press straight up and over our head, holding that position, and then down nice and slow, trying to keep that shoulder in nice alignment with the shoulder joint, not allowing the kettlebell to bounce.